All right, welcome to the 2.4 worksheet homework. This problem, I recommend vertical angles to do. This problem, we've got a whole mess here. We've got x's and y's put together. We've got y's, we've got x's and x's. There's all kinds of equations. I could use vertical angles, but that will mix up x and y. I could use vertical angles, but that will mix up x and y. So you need to pick this out right here. This is the way to go. This linear pair, 2x plus x plus 60 equals 180. 3x plus 60 equals 180. 3x equals 120. X equals not 60. X equals 40 when you divide. All right, now I'll plug it back in. So if x equals 40, that makes this 80, and that makes this 80, which now I can solve for y. Y has to be 60, because 60 plus 20 is 80. Let's check our work. What is 80 plus 60? Sorry, x plus y. It would be 40 plus 60, that'd be 100, and that's good, that's what I want. And what is 40 plus 60, 100. So we're all good. That's what we should get. These should add up to 180 across from each other. We're all good there. So it's important that you start it correctly. You don't want to mix up x and y at this point. All right, next. Two lines that are not perpendicular intersect. So go ahead and draw those. Don't make them perpendicular. Such that 1 and 2 are a linear pair. So 1 and 2 are a linear pair. 1 and 4 are a linear pair. And 1 and 3 are vertical angles. So from there, tell whether the statement is true or false. Is it true that 1 is congruent to 2? That would be false. Is it true that 1 is congruent to 3? That would be true. Those are vertical angles. And just work through the rest. Number 4. All right, given that the interior angles of a triangle sum to 180, find all the numbered angles. Interesting. So we can start with this cluster. This has to be 40, because those are vertical. This has to be 90 because those are vertical, and this has to be 50 because they have to add up to 90. This is also 90. This is also 90, so it has to be 50. So those are all of those angles. Now going down here, we can go to this cluster down here. This is 105 vertical. This is 75, and this is 75. They have to add up to 180. And now here's where we use this given piece of information. These three here in this triangle have to add up to 180 degrees. We don't know that that's true, but that's what we're assuming. So you could take 180 and minus 50 and minus 75 to get, what would that be? 55. And then this has to be 55. And then this has to add up to 180 right here. So 125. And that has to be 125. Now do it again. Now you have another triangle. And these angles have to add up. So figure out what that angle has to be right there. Remember, the interior angles will add up to 180. So figure it out and then figure out the rest of those. Number 5. Given 1's congruent to 2 and given 3 is congruent to 4, prove that this opening is equal to this opening. Okay, this is going to go pretty straightforward here. 1's equal to 2, 3 is equal to 4. Got our givens, got both of them in there. We got both of our givens in there. All right, now look at the angle addition postulate. That means put two angles together. So ABC is made of 1 and 3. I'm going to put a 1 there. 1 and 3 make ABC. And then, now it says substitute. What can I substitute? Well, look here. 1 and 1. So I can substitute this one. So ABC, angle 1, turns into a 2. And I can do it again, actually. 3, we can substitute for a 4. So the 1 becomes a 2, and the 3 becomes a 4. Okay. Now, that's kind of the end of that. That's the end of that thought right there. This is a tough proof, actually. Then use the angle addition property again. So now bring DEF into it. So DEF is made of 4 and 2 as well. So DEF makes 4, 2 and 4. Okay. And now is the last part here. I've got 2 and 4 here. I've got 2 and 4 here. Those are the same thing. That's the glue. That's the glue that connects ABC with DEF. So ABC is equal to DEF by the, I'm going to call it the transitive property. That was a tough proof. There's a lot going on there, actually. A lot of substitutions happening. The 1 turned into a 2, the 3 turns into a 4. These end up being the same. So that makes these also equal to each other. And there you have it, number 6. We are given that 2 is congruent to 3. I'll go ahead and label that. And, ooh, look at the way this proof starts off. It just starts off with a given from the picture. That's cool. So 1 and 2 are vertical angles. 3 and 4 are vertical angles. That's from the picture. And now using the vertical angle theorem, which says vertical angles make congruent, we can state that 1 is congruent to 2. We can state that 3 is congruent to 4. Now I'll bring in my given, like right there. Just brought that in there at the end, sort of. You can bring givens in whenever you want. But this all can be put together. Let's start with 1. 1 implies 2, 2 implies 3, and 3 implies 4. So therefore, 1 implies 4. That's what they're trying to prove. We made the connection. Basically, 1's congruent to 2, 2 is congruent to 3, 3 is congruent to 4. So therefore, 1 is congruent to 4. A little bit more straightforward. On the back, wow, we got more proofs. Okay, supplementary. Supplementary means something adds to 180, so that's going to be in our proof somewhere. Let's just go through and fill in the blanks. First of all, it appears from the picture that 1 and blank as well as 2 and blank are vertical angles. Well, 1 and 3 would be vertical angles, and 2 and 4 would be vertical angles. So therefore, by the vertical angles theorem, we can say that 1 is congruent to 3 and 2 is congruent to 4. Then let's keep reading. And by the definition of congruent, this means that 1 is equal to 3 and the measure of angle 2 is now equal to the measure of angle 4. Also as given, right there, we're going to now use this given, save it for the end. 1 and 2 are supplementary, which means by definition 1 and 2 make 180. And now we can substitute. What can we substitute? Well, the 1 here can be substituted with a 3. So instead of writing 1, I can write 3. And the 2 here can be substituted with a 4. So instead of writing a 2, I can write a 4. So now we have that 3 and 4 make 180. I just replaced 1 with 3 and 2 with 4. Therefore, by the definition of supplementary, they add to 180, So they are supplementary. There we have it. Try 8 on your own. We'll go over that one in class. Try 9 on your own. We'll go over that one in class. And let's do 10 together. It says write a paragraph proof. All right, 1's congruent to 2. 1 implies 2. This is kind of like my plan. 3 is congruent to 4. Okay. 2 is congruent to 3 by the vertical angle theorem. And so last, I think we can put it all together. 1 implies 2. 2 implies 3. And 3 implies 4. That's the proof. It's basically, it's very, very similar to, it's very similar to one of the proofs we did in the notes, actually. So let's write it out. We're going to say angle 1 is congruent to angle 2, and angle 3 is congruent to angle 4, as given. Okay, so just state your givens, might as well. Also, angle 2 is congruent to angle 3 because they are vertical angles. So we're just writing a sentence. And now put it all together. Now, using the transitive property, we can say angle 1 is congruent to angle 2, angle 2 is congruent to angle 3, angle 3 is congruent to angle 4, therefore angle 1 is congruent to angle 4 by the transitive property. And that is your homework.